So the majority is in support. Motion carries. Thank you. Now is the opportunity for public input. Our speakers from the floor. Speakers may address the board under the terms of Ordinance 4765. Time is limited to 4 minutes per speaker. Please refer to the last page of the agenda for specific rules governing input.
Hi, my name is Rob Gorman. Mr. Ferranzina, where do you live?
501 St. Louis Road.
Okay, nobody verified that or asked that. It says right here, for redevelopment project areas with redevelopment plans or proposed redevelopment plans that would result in the displacement of residents from 10 more inhabited residential units, or that includes 75 more inhabited residential units, the public member should be a person who resides in the redevelopment project area. The salesman over here said there aren't any houses for displacement, so I don't know why I was not also eligible to be a member, because that's, but that gives us something to fight this on later on down the road. Gary, I'm disappointed in you. You know, there's no loss of income to the school, but you're putting yourself at risk because there's no guarantee you're going to get income either. Without this TIF, you definitely be getting income. And when you look at the 3 people that are going to be put in control of this TIF whenever it goes to the board, one of them's in the newspaper suing the city again. One of them's embattled for getting free dirt from the city contractor. You think you can trust them with the contract with you for getting money, Gary? And then you gotta look at how this is set up. It's a hodgepodge of different things: conservation, blight. I drive down St. Louis Road. I saw the gas station Nick there put probably $350,000, $400,000 into his business. Didn't need a TIF for that. Saw people down there at Ramone's painting the outside of it. They don't need a TIF for that. Rural King didn't need a TIF to be put in. And lastly, and this is the most important thing, you guys are being sold stuff. He didn't have, the salesman over here didn't have something in case you voted no. He only had something for in case you voted yes. His study is wrong. It says in there that the 157 Family Rest Diner is a vacant building. It's been open 8 months. I went down there and had dinner 2 weeks ago. So if that's wrong, you got to ask yourself how much else in that study is wrong. And I do hope you take time to read it all and think about the residents that have gone to the public meeting whenever they had it and said no, they don't want it, and that will be there again whenever they have a hearing if it makes it that far. I hope you guys write in writing that you do not want this. You do not need this. The residents of Collinsville do not want this. There is not anybody that has come to the city and said, I want to put in a Costco, I want to put in a Sam's, I want to put in anything. There's nothing. Look at the size of it. If somebody came in and said they wanted to put something like that in, I'd be all for it. If they said, I need a TIF to be able to put in a Costco or a Sam's or a ballpark or whatever, but there is absolutely nothing. And Mitch said it right, there's no plans or no interest. Thank you so much.
Any more speakers?
Phyllis Strauskis, 105 Lexington Drive, Collinsville. We just did this thing for $50,000, what, 3 years ago? And again, the taxpayers are paying for this again. Do you really believe that this same board here is going to be sitting here 10 years now when the fire department needs something? Almost all these people will be gone, including the salesman. Do you really believe that it's only going to go 23 years? What happened to the last TIF? Is it 23 years old? We should have done away with it a while back, ain't it? Do you really believe it's going to go 23? Once these people get this money, they ain't going to let it go, let me tell you. What we have now is a flawed TIF program. If you think the Home Federal Savings and Loan Building downtown is blighted in obsolescence, in disrepair, and we go and putting a heating and air conditioning system in on the taxpayer's dime, this is wrong. Absolutely wrong. Should we fund every saloon on Main Street, put in fences so they can eat outside, and put out rails in the front so they can sit on the street, and people walking by have to be embarrassed and go across the other street? This is wrong. This is the taxpayers' dollars, our dollars. Her funeral home, do you think they're a blighted business in disrepair? They are not. It is now a conglomerate. We gave them money. If it wasn't for the public pursuing this money that we gave them, it would not be coming back to the city. The city has its own problems. Have you driven one block off of Main Street where no TIF is available? We have streets that should read signs, travel at your own risk. We have no curb and gutter, no sidewalks through the majority of the whole community. We have 35% of the city without city sewers. We have more important things to do than spend our tax dollars down below the hill. We already gave all the saloons in Tavern the right to have slot machines in town to help them out. And I can't see going down to that racetrack, they need a new parking lot, they need everything. It was the number one on the list the last time we met for TIF, this same TIF program that he's encouraging right now. And the biggest set of complaints came from the Fairmont racetrack. This should not be on the taxpayer's dime. Our schools, to the best of my knowledge, we're getting 50% of what is coming to the school district right now. That ain't good enough for me. The number one thing for a community is your school district. And when we fail them, we have all failed. The number one complaint probably compared to Triad, Edwardsville, Highland, O'Fallon, Mascoutah, and on, is our school system. What has our population done since we took over with home rule? Nothing. Our population was 25,300. We're at 25,800. We do not have growth. We have not put in sewers, sidewalks. City services have been disbanded. We used to have limb pickup. We can't do that no more. What suffers the most? Your pension liability for all your city workers, your police, your firemen, everybody that works up at this city hall. And this is just absolutely wrong. You cannot believe anybody sitting at this table at this time, because this table will change accordingly over the years. And at the end of 23 years, you can I won't be here either. But somebody has to take care of the taxpayers' money, and this is not the best benefit for the taxpayers. Thank you.
More public comment?
Karen McReynolds. It's a little backwards that we only get to speak after your vote, but for the State Park Fire District, 23 years plus 12. It's easier to renew for 12 years, so you might as well add that 12 years on there. A TIF district can be justified anywhere due to the vague definition of blight, so the statement that the area is blighted does not hold any water in this debate. The but-for argument is subjective and can be debated both ways. Many studies have shown little success in the TIF programs. One, for example, the East-West Gateway Council of Governments, which Mayor Miller is a member of. You may remember that report back in January of 2011 that was not in favor of TIF, not favorable towards TIF. It showed many problems, that there was less than expected revenue, lack of job creation, and limited increase in assessed valuation. The current council TIFs are showing limited success and are burdened with problems. The tax incentives have not generated expected sales revenues, and job growth is sluggish. There's limited analysis by the city as far as the success of this program is concerned. Since there are no current developers in the wings for this TIF district or this project, it should have been opposed. There are enterprise zones and business districts and other options to help this area. Thank you.
I'm Wendy Valenti. I'm the Executive Director of the Collinsville Chamber of Commerce, and I just wanted to thank the members of the Joint Review Board for your careful consideration of this matter. I know that several of the taxing bodies have spent extensive amounts of time researching and deciphering the impact on the individual taxing bodies, and I appreciate your time that you've put in. I also appreciate your vote of support for the creation of the district that I believe will make for a better community as a whole, admittedly at the cost to some of the districts. I encourage everyone to look at the city's website for the impact study of TIF 1. If you go in there and actually look at that, and you talk about the biggest losers. The biggest loser in there is the state of Illinois, which I don't have faith in the state of Illinois to manage our tax dollars. And so to the degree that we are keeping our taxes local by implementing a TIF district at this point in time, I think that we are all better for it. So I just appreciate your time and your consideration, and I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Any more speakers?
Janet Schultz. I just want to say that the citizens have told you twice, we don't want this TIF district, but you're determined to cram it down our throats. You can't take care of what you have. Look around you at this city. There is a trench 3 feet deep across from my house where there should